forgotten TV show that did Downton Abbey before Downton Abbey? A TV series inspired by a woman's actual diary, and a medical drama so authentic it used real hospital records. These are 8 Edwardian dramas you've probably never seen. This ITV drama focuses on something most period pieces don't really touch: the birth of modern shopping. It follows Harry Gordon Selfridge as he revolutionizes the department store industry, and yeah, that might sound mundane, but the way the show tells it, it's anything but. Selfridge practically invented a lot of the things we take for granted today. Celebrity endorsements. Episode 2, publicly selling cosmetics. Episode 3, mid-season sales. Episode 8. The guy was changing the game. But the show doesn't just focus on retail. It dives into major cultural movements of the time, from suffragism to the rise of spiritualism. It's a fascinating look at how the Edwardian era was shaping the modern world. This one's really interesting. It's a spin-off of BBC One's long-running medical drama Casualty, but with a twist. It's entirely based on real records from London Hospital in the early 1900s. So everything you see, the cases, the procedures, the medical techniques, they all actually happened. The show starts in 1906 with the pilot, then jumps to 1907 for a few episodes, and by the end, it's 1909. And what really stands out is just how much medicine was changing during this time. You're watching these doctors and nurses figure things out in real time. Things that today we take for granted. Honestly, it's one of those shows that makes you very, very grateful for modern medicine. This one's all about the lives of 3 nannies and the wealthy families they work for. It's a 1998 BBC drama, and it's got everything you'd expect from an Edwardian story: scandals, class tensions, and historical events woven into the plot. Over 10 episodes, the show covers the coronation of King Edward VII, a typhoid epidemic sweeping through the East End of London, and the rapid expansion of the city's infrastructure. It's one of those hidden gems that barely anyone talks about, but if you're into period dramas, it's definitely worth a watch. At a time when women were expected to stay at home and avoid careers, Louisa Layton broke every rule. She started as an in-demand cook and worked her way up to running the Bentinck Hotel on Duke Street, becoming one of the first female hotel managers. It's a heavily character-driven drama, and because it spans a full decade, you get major historical events playing out in the background. The death of Queen Victoria, the rise and eventual death of King Edward VII, all of it woven into the story. It originally aired in the 70s, and in 1980, it was even nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Limited Series. This one's all about Peter Pan, or more specifically, the man who wrote it. Johnny Depp plays J.M. Barrie, and the movie follows how his friendship with the Davies family inspired the story. It's kind of like Goodbye Christopher Robin, where Alexander Milne found inspiration through his son's adventures. Here, it's Barry bonding with the Davies boys, playing with them, creating stories, and slowly shaping what would become Peter Pan. But society wasn't exactly thrilled about his close relationship with their widowed mother, played by Kate Winslet. Still, once people saw what he created, they looked the other way. If you love Downton Abbey, this is basically the original version. A massive hit on ITV back in the early 70s, this show followed the lives of both the wealthy Bellamy family and the servants who worked for them. You've got forbidden romances, scandals, unexpected pregnancies, everything you'd expect. The big difference? While Downton Abbey is constantly shaped by real historical events, Upstairs Downstairs mostly keeps that stuff in the background, at least at first. It's not until the 2nd season that things like suffragism and the death of the king really start affecting the characters. Also, just like Downton, 2 major actors left at the end of season 2. One of them never came back. This one's about James Joyce, one of the most famous, most unread authors of all time. Ewan McGregor plays Joyce, and Susan Lynch plays Nora Barnacle, his wife. And the movie basically explores how their relationship shaped both their lives and his writing. Joyce was brilliant, but he was also jealous, self-doubting, and drank way too much. Nora, meanwhile, supported him, pushed him, and dealt with everything that came with being married to a literary genius. And at the end of the day, despite the fame, their struggles weren't all that different from any other couple trying to make it work. This one's based on Nature Notes for 1906, a book by Edith Holden, who, by the way, wasn't some random writer. She was an artist, and her work was actually exhibited by the Royal Academy of Arts. She spent that year documenting the natural world, sketching and painting everything around her. And in 1984, they turned that into a 12-episode TV series, one episode for each month of 1906. The series focuses on her time as a school teacher, but there's this underlying theme of a world that's changing. She came in at the very end of an era when people still had this deep appreciation for nature, and watching it now, it really feels like this quiet, almost meditative look at a way of life that was about to disappear.